Hello, hello. How are you? Great, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining in on the show. I'm excited. I'm Ask Dr. Gold, and welcome to the Ask Dr. Gold Show podcast. Yes, you can reach us on all of the social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we're sponsored by Buzzsprout.com. That's BUZZSPROUT.com. I am more than excited today to talk to you about our special topic, which is love, patience, and happiness. Oh, these are some important things I tell you we're going to talk about. In fact, we on last week or week before, we talked about love and loyalty. Loyalty is faithfulness, being faithful in all of its promises, keeping your word with that person. You're always being able to count on that person. Love and loyalty. We defined love as an intense feeling of deep affections and attractions. Intense. Love is amazing. Love is relaxing, emotional. Love deals with a lot of truth, and love deals with healing. Love is very transforming. And in the Bible, it talks about love being patient, kind, does not envy, not boast, proud, or rude. It's not self-seeking. Love does not anger quickly. When you love somebody, I'm gonna tell you now, it's not easy to get angry with them. When I think of love, I think of hearts and balloons and silver and sparklies and gold and all those wonderful things. When we talk about love, love is just exciting, and I'm thankful to God that He so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. So that love right there is unmatchable. However, we want to be part of the love community right now with the Ask Dr. Gold show. When I asked God, Lord, what do you want me to talk about on the show? He said, well, hey, I want the family to stay together. I want you to encourage them. I want you to tell the people, don't give up. Hold on. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage. Know that I'm there in the midst thereof. And I want the people to know that I have a blessing for them. Just stay focused. And most of all, be sure to pray and open up your hearts and let me in. Oh, that's real good. I like that right there. But before we get started and down into the word a little deeper, got a few people I want to thank. First of all, we'd like to thank our production crew, ODXO, for the production. We'd like to thank Indigo Entertainment Dallas, our sponsors. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Chris J. Dre, Big D, Warman, Slew, Conrad, Zay, CJ, Paul, Mike, Chico. We'd also like to thank Pastor Timmy and Sadie Henderson. We'd like to thank the Way of Life for the prayers and the support that we've had all along. We'd like to thank Pastor Charles Beard and Leslie Beard, Chico and Lady, for their undying support. Whatever it is, they're always there. We can't do this by ourselves. We need help because there's so many other things that go on when it comes to podcasting and doing outreach. Yes, outreach. Excuse me. We'd like to thank our prayer warriors, Ann, Sylvia, Felicia, Pam, Kim, Amber, Sugar, Christina, Germany, Sandra, Jessica, Lady, Wanda, Pastor Osmond, Jemiah, and Genovia. All of the people that love and care for us and have supported us in some way or another. You've been there, and we're just thankful that you are loved. An intense feeling of deep affection, attraction, intense pleasure, enjoyment. Always keeping the family together in love. That is what we want to do. How do we do that? Well, you have to fellowship with your family. You have to make a commitment. I know we've gone through some things with COVID, and we've been separated for a while, but right now we're kind of getting out and we're doing some things. So if you can, try your best to fellowship with your family. You can do that on the phone. You can do that with a card. You can invite them to events or places. Just find yourself being able to be there for your family. And that's important. And I'm saying your inner circle family. A lot of times we have people in families that are kind of out of town, or they might be in another country and you don't get to talk to them as well. Or you might even have family members that, just in passing, they're not really that close, but when you do see them, give them a good hug and say hello. But usually you have a nucleus, a core, people that you normally fellowship with, those that you can relate to and have some things in common. You might want to go out to dinner, or if anything, if you haven't spoken to them in a while, then you might want to call them, say hello, check on them, or if nothing else, hey guys, we've got social media. Like their page, shoot them a word, but say something, do something. I've got a couple of family members that we're not in touch with like that so much, and not that we're fighting or having things against each other. It's just we have separate ways, and I don't feel good about that all the time. And sometimes I say to myself, wow, I really wish we had that closeness or whatever, so I might shoot them like a, hey cuz, what's up? How you doing? All right, just checking on you. And they say something back, and that really, really makes me feel good. And believe it or not, if you're listening and you're just riding along, or you're on one of the media platforms, there are people that don't have anybody. They just don't have any relatives, or they don't know them. Well, what do I say to them? I say, find you some good friends. Join a community. Join a community on one of your pages. Or, hey guys, there are groups that you can join, like if you're sewing, or if you like cars, or you like movies or games, or you like bowling. But I need you to get in there, and I need you to relate. I need you to do that, because it's so many people going through anxiety, stress, and depression. And these are avenues that can help us kind of lighten the load mentally. Because right now, mental health is a big issue. And a lot of people are giving up, unfortunately. And we don't want that to happen to you. You are valuable to us. You mean something to us. You are worth who you are. And we want you to just hang in there. And if you need to talk to somebody, hey, so many 1-800 numbers that are available to call and to talk to somebody, or at your local clinics or your churches or your groups. And there's places on all the social media platforms that offer friendship. And you got people who are really reaching out. And is everybody genuine? No. But after you sort through all of that, I'm sure you'll find somebody. And if not, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you can always go and find a friend in Jesus, huh? Yes, there's not a friend like Jesus. All right, I'm not preaching today, but I certainly want to make mention of that because that's who my friend is. And I just thank God for his son, Jesus. All right. Love, patience, and happiness. Well, we've got to know that when there is love, you're going to have to find some patience because part of getting to that goal of happiness is you're having to go through some things with love. I looked at Google, and thank goodness we've got Google because otherwise we'd be at the library all day or forever in tons of books. And Google has been so kind to lend me an ear and to define the relationship with love and patience going toward happiness. Google says that patience is the capacity to accept or tolerate delayed trouble or suffering that you go through without getting angry and upset as you have patience. And patience means waiting sometimes. Why is this so important in an emotional relationship? Not to get mad, but to just have patience. Well, it's important because the inevitable is that in any given relationship, you will have to be that person that's going to have to wait. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, men, oh, they hate it. Waiting. And then I've met some people who, when you get in a line at the store, they just lose it. I mean, oh my God. I've had situations where I've told the person, hey, look, you can skip me. It's okay. Go ahead. And they're not even in a rush. They just don't like waiting. When are they going to open up another line or register? And they start getting, red and sweating. And I'm like, oh, goodness. Let them go. I don't mind sometimes doing that. But when you're in a friendship, when you're dating, when you're in an engagement, when you're married, in any given relationship that you have, there might be a sense of waiting. So you've got to work on your waiting skills because patience is a virtue. And God loves virtue. Yes, he does. Some people say your ability to wait on another person conceivably lets them know how much you care. It measures that level of love or care. And somebody might say, well, I ain't got a lot of people at my job. Yeah, but you gotta care about people. Yes. It's just something that we have to do as people. We care for one another. And you gotta be genuine about it. Why? Because people can tell when you're fake, false, phony, pretending. Yeah. So you gotta work on that. It's very important. Y'all excuse me, I've got a cough drop in my mouth because the allergies are really getting to me, but I wanted to do this show. So I'm pushing through. So, and I just thank you for being patient and tolerating me. Being able to tolerate the mental anguish and pain of having to lay aside your pride and just suitably do nothing and allow time to just pass by as you're waiting on her to get dressed or him to come home from work for dinner. I tell you, it is an experience when you're waiting. Doing all of this with a peace of mind and saying to yourself, I'm waiting on the prize. And sometimes you have to tell yourself what you're waiting on. I'm waiting on that person, that prize who is worth, who's valuable, who measures up to my love and my care. That's why we put ourselves through this waiting game time after time, because the prize. We want the prize, yes. What is the prize? You're the prize. Yes, you are. You are worth it. You're valuable. The long waiting game, that long awaiting reward of getting to the final prize, the satisfaction, the pleasure, the wonder in the moment of time that you wait for that person. It is so rewarding. It really does truthfully bring about a level of happiness that we so often can reflect back on when we think about it. The moment that the door opens and you make eye-to-eye contact with him or her, and you get that small little smile, quirkiness, saying, oh, thank goodness they're here. Furthermore, the quality of being patient provokes annoyance, misfortune, or pain without complaint. You shouldn't lose your temper or be irritated or the likes of that. You can't be provoked to get upset, because that's very unfortunate when you're waiting on somebody and they get upset and they begin to fuss or complain out loud and say words or do things that in the long run they really can regret. So we want you to take one moment in your thought pattern when you're waiting on somebody, and sometimes you have to encourage yourself, say, hey, look, I might as well just calm down and get ready to dig in and wait, because at the end of the day, I love this person and this person is worth waiting on. What are some of the elements of patience? Patience may involve perseverance in the face of delay, tolerance. When you're waiting on somebody, you got to make sure you're not being disrespectful and all out loud and complaining and saying things that might be hurtful, especially when you're in a situation where you might be in a long-term difficult situation, like someone might be waiting go at the doctor's and it's taking a long time, and you just are annoyed because people are coming in there and you getting paranoid about all the sick people, but you got to be there by their side. So sometimes you want to say some things that you get irritated and you're getting bored, fidgety. But I need you to just take a moment, like I said, in your mind and encourage yourself and say, hey, I'm going to wait on this person because all the things that I've gone through, that person was right there for me, waiting. Waiting is such a beautiful thing when you look back on it, because when you love someone or care for someone, you say to yourself, wow, look what I just did. Waited on this person, and now look at us. It brought us even closer together. If you're just now joining the show, I'm Ask Dr. Gold with the Ask Dr. Gold podcast, and we're talking about love and patience to happiness. Because a lot of times we have to wait on the person that we care and love. It's just inevitable that we, at some point, are going to have to wait on that someone special. And it's how you wait that disclaims your love for that person. The atmosphere in which you wait, and the expressions that you exuberate. And it's just important that when you're waiting on someone, that you really be careful not to hurt that special person's feelings. Oh, this is good. One of the top 10 scriptures that I love in the Bible talks about waiting. Psalms 123 and 2, and I looked at the King James Version, where it says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Once again, my question is, why do we wait? Why do we put ourselves through this? Why don't we just give up and just throw in a towel and just say, no, I'm not the one? We wait because there is a prize, and that prize toward waiting is the peace that you gain in loving that person, and the happiness that you share with that person for waiting. We as people have a longing and a distinct desire to lovingly please each other, the ones that we care about. This brings about happiness and pleasure from both points of view. For me, it brings happiness and pleasure, and for you, even through the pain, through the suffering, through the long lines, through standing up, through carrying the bags, through sitting in the car. It's all worth it at the end. There is a writer that I was exposed to with Google, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And the title of that person's book is called Happiness According to a Very Well Mind. And the book was written in 2021, and this is just an excerpt. Happiness is a positive emotion state by feelings such as contentment, joy, and life satisfactions. I ask you, as Ask Dr. Gold, to please explore ways to improve your happiness. These are deep feelings: pleasure, freedom, clarity, contentment, satisfaction, hopefulness, togetherness, fulfillment, and cheerfulness. We're talking about happiness. This is very important to us when we're talking about love. And of course, we say fulfillment, but fulfillment with the lovingness of that fulfillment. So these feelings are the top of my list for love. And Remember, love cannot be by itself without being described with patience and happiness. And at the end of the day, we can easily say happiness is an overwhelming, joyful feeling that comes over us when we know life is pleasurable, good, kind, which means at the end of the day, it's going to lead you to a level of laughter and happiness and smiling. That's good. I'm Ask Dr. Gold with the Ask Dr. Gold show, and we're so glad that you've joined us today to talk about love, patience, and happiness. Because I want you to look at your neighbor, or someone that's in the room with you, or get someone in mind and think of that person and say to yourself, that's my prize. Even with your children, you had to wait 9 months. In the waiting room, you had to wait for them to come. So enjoyable, so pleasurable. If you're trying to contact me, I'm AskDrGold at gmail.com. ASKDR, that's like David Robert, ASKDR Gold, GOLD, at gmail.com. You can shoot me an email. We're working on our phone line because we had given out the number before, and I tell you, we were overwhelmed with the calls, the messages, and we couldn't handle them all. We've got, more than 5,000 to 10,000 people that are on our platforms because we have more than one page. Our page is Ask Dr. Gold Show. So you've got to go ASKDR Gold and then separate word show. Or you can look me up, Dr. Jerry Gold. Either or, I need you to reach out to us because we've got a lot of people that are hurting and that are asking for help. So we've opened up and we're doing the beginnings of our nonprofit organization, which is Angels of Gold Nonprofit Organization, through the Ask Dr. Gold show and podcast for 2022. And this particular organization is a humanitarian organization that will help aid, provide, and support individuals as well as families that are in underserved communities. We're making pledges for mental health counseling, disaster relief and support, educational training, good nutritional referrals, medical referrals. We're helping endangered youth through situations of abuse like drugs, mental health, sexual, alcohol, bullying. We're assisting adults and elderly. We have been working on the Battered Women's Information and Referral Center. This particular organization is local, national, international, and a worldwide program. We're partnering with some people now that are going to help us in what it is that we're trying to do. We need assistance for families that need food, and homeless families, and families that are being put out. We're working with youth that are aging out of the foster care system. We're working with young women that are expecting babies and don't know what to do. We have ladies that have babies that need parent-infant training. I tell you, we're just overwhelmed with all of this. And we're going to be coming to you soon for assistance and help, for volunteers. So I just need you to just get ready because we're going to present this with you to you. We're going to present this to you soon. I have a book coming out, and the portions of this book that I'm going to be presenting, the money will be going toward helping the people of God, because this particular book, God gave it to me, and I'm going to use that money toward helping millions of people, okay? And it's important that you have a giving heart. We've got so many people that are underserved, and if you can't fill this application out, you don't qualify. And if you don't make this amount of money, or if you make too much money, this COVID thing has caught so many people off guard. And people are trying to get back on course, but they've gone through tornadoes and hurricanes and snowstorms and laying off one job. Forget one paycheck away from the street. That paycheck been gone. People need help. When I found myself in a situation where I needed some help, and I couldn't figure this out, but eventually I prayed about it, and I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give my way out. Yes, I'm gonna give. And see, that giving was what opened up the gates and the doors to the favor of God's heart, where he was able to bless me, where now I'm able to just go to people and tell them, hey, look, I've got this family, they're going through, they need help, and I need your loving, caring support. I don't need you giving relentlessly, just not with an open, giving heart. Maybe I used the wrong word, but I need you giving with an open heart and an open spirit, because you cannot be God giving when he blesses you with favor for blessing someone else. And a lot of times, that's how we receive our blessings, through giving, because God looks at your heart and how you give and the way that you give. And you got to give as though you were going through something and you needed people to help you. And you give and you don't look back. And a lot of the things that we've been able to do, we did through our old outreach, which was Angel, and through the ministry. And now it's gotten bigger and greater. And we've outgrown one particular nonprofit, and we're going over to one that is even bigger and greater. And I thank God for this platform, because I have so many people that want to be part of giving and don't know the avenues or where to go, or organizations, or what level. And Angels of Gold nonprofit organization is getting ready to put the boots on the ground. So I want you to just stand by, because you're going to be getting that information soon. And this thing is so much bigger than what I am. So I'm going to need everybody to help me. I'm talking about worldwide, because we're having to pray for people all over the world. Well, I'm asked not to go, and my time is way up, and I'm getting ready to get off of here, but I just wanted to let you know how much I love you. I thank you, and I appreciate you for listening. You have a blessed day.